Moving ahead, we have our next keynote presentation by Mr. Sakti Kumar. He is the Senior Product Security Analyst at GE Power Conversion. His speech title is Extended Detection and Response to Modernize, Protect, and Manage Security. All the very best, Sakti, and the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Bridget. Thanks a lot. Just a minute. Thank you, Bridget. Thanks for the wonderful introduction. So the topic given to me is extended detection and response to modernize, protect, and manage security. Before diving into the topic, I would like to share a little bit of background about myself. So myself, Shakti, I am working as a senior product security analyst from GE Power Conversion. So basically in GE Power Conversion, what we handle is we handle OT cyber security, which is operation technologies cyber. And so what we do is we do secure the control systems, and we do a risk assessment to the asset owners, like from various domains, including a power sector, oil and gas, marine sector. So these are our key areas. So if you need any support in future or something, you can very well contact me to the email ID, which is shaktikumar.manohar@ge.com. So without any further delay, let's discuss about the extended device security. So actually, the extended detection and response as such is a new technology. It is there in the market for past few years. So before that, it is worthwhile to spend some time to see how the security has been evolved from the beginning. If we go back a decade, so we can. That time we all know, we all know that we were in a state that when we install an antivirus software in our laptop or in a workstation, and we feel that our entire system is protected, because there were reasons for that actually. So that time there were not that much sophisticated attacks or advanced persistent threats were there. So we used a simple antivirus softwares. So how does it work? It works based on a signature database. So it essentially collects the signatures of the every virus and malware that is present in the internet, and it will compare. So whenever we run a scan, it is going to compare for the viruses and malwares. So if it find a match, it is going to trigger an event. So that's how it was working. But as technologies are evolving, the the threat landscape was also evolving, as well as the hackers were also gaining skills in order to perform more and more sophisticated attacks. So, and that's how the next generation antivirus came into picture. Just a minute, let me open the tip. Yeah. So that's how the NGAV, which is the next generation antivirus, came into picture. So basically, our initial antivirus software could able to identify only the known virus and known malwares. So what happened is, malware-less attacks, network attacks, these sort of sophisticated attacks started happening. So because of that reason, the NGAV technology has been coined. So this will involve some of the scanning methodology that will scan for the critical components, such as it will scan for the memory, it will scan for DLL files in a specific computer or a laptop. So, and it will, it could potentially flag some of the buffer overflow attacks or DLL hijacking attacks, etc. So this were the feature of next generation antivirus solutions. And moving ahead, so these were all giving protection on a single point of view. So this it on a broader perspective, if we think if we take an endpoint, it could be attacked from any direction. It could be attacked from a network, it could be attacked from an insider, or it could there are also different types of attacks, say a protocol type of attack. A vulnerability in a protocol could lead to an attack, or a vulnerability in a network or a threat in a network can lead to an attack. So by thinking all these things in the mind, the security professionals and many security companies designed the endpoint protection solutions, which is EPP. So endpoint protection solution was designed keeping in mind that will provide a holistic protection to any internet capable device. So which is going to be a laptop, a workstation, a server, thin client, or any device, for instance. So by taking that into consideration, the EPP solution has been designed. And the EPP solution, however, it provides a security on the whole to any endpoint. Also, it could able to find any attacks, that was happened, or any attacks that is happening. It could not able to predict the attacks which is going to happen, right? And that's how the next generation endpoint protection came into picture. So the next generation endpoint protection, basically it is equipped with machine learning, artificial intelligence, and threat intelligence technologies. So it basically offers this three different types of process or engines, we can say. So pre-execution, it is capable of preventing from known threats. So before executing an attack, so we could able to detect if any, depending on the network anomalies, depending on any behavioral changes in the network or in the protocol level, the NGEP could able to trigger a flag and tell that an attack is going to happen, or it can tell that this is abnormal in our network, that the a SOC or any security engineer should have a look at it. So this sort of flags that NGEP can provide. And also on execution, if any attacks is in progress, if any dynamic exploitation is in happening, or if any malware script is running in the network, sometimes we know the worms, right? So worms are basically, it will start entering into a security loophole in one vulnerable PC, and it will start propagate into a network. So in order to so NGEP will basically protect us from this types of dynamic exploitation and malwares as well. Also, after the flagging up or the event has been occurred, and then it also facilitates the mitigation and the remediations as well. So how it mitigates? It mitigates by quarantining the specific malware files or virus files. Or by deleting the same. But however, in IT systems, this may be applicable. So when we consider the information technology systems, the respond can be done automatically by an solution. But when we go for an operation technology solution, so when it is a control system, or let's for instance, we can take in an oil refinery, let's say the controllers are running and the process is running, the refining process is running. So that time, if any malware is coming inside the network, so the security solution should not automatically isolate that specific workstation. So if it is an engineering workstation, if the engineering workstation got isolated from the network, then there may be a risk that the the availability of that specific site may be compromised. So if the availability is compromised, it will lead to production loss, it will leads to business risk, and there will be a chain reaction. So that way, when it comes to an operation technology industry, we should always think in terms of availability. So considering all these things into mind, the EDR came into picture, which is the endpoint detection and response solutions. So all these solutions which we have discussed so far, so it doesn't have the centralized management server. But the EDR has the centralized repository for analysis. So basically, the centralized repository, we know that it is also called as SOC, which is a Security Operations Center. So all the endpoints, let's say all the endpoints are secured now. So every endpoint will be secured with some security solutions. The specific events or logs from that security solutions will be collected in a centralized repository. So from that centralized repository, the security team has to sit and it will facilitate the security team a centralized place where we can view and investigate the anomalies. So if we can also detect it, it not like it will automatically flag the events. Also we can also explore the entire logs, and we can detect for any anomalies. However, everything is logging in a centralized place. There is one drawback. I would not say it is a drawback, but there is one challenge. That challenge is we have to spend a lot of man hours going through the logs that has been created. So if we imagine a network of around 1,000 endpoints, so we can assume like how much amount of humongous amount of data is being collected in a SOC. So in order to do this activity, the next solution has been introduced into the market, which is the managed solution. Managed endpoint detection and response solutions are also available. So where the solution provider will provide some security experts who will sit there in front of the SIEM or in front of the logger all day, and he's going to investigate all the events by himself. So this was the temporary solution that was given to the asset owners. But however, the topic of the day here, extended detection and response, came as the solution for this challenge. So extended detection and response, it is not going to just protect the endpoints. It gives protection for the entire infrastructure. Even we can say it is going to provide protection of like cross infrastructure across geographical location. So it provides extended detection and response across infrastructure, so it can protect networks, cloud workloads, servers, emails, etc. In terms of security, if we speak XDR, it is also called as XDR, the extended detection and response solution. The XDR facilitates email security, network analysis and visibility, identity and access management, so which is going to be a centralized server for the AAA services. AAA services is accountability, authorization and authentication, threat and vulnerability management. So threat and vulnerability management is basically the XDR is going to facilitate a process in order to manage the threat and vulnerability. Cloud security. So since in every industry, irrespective of domain, cloud is being introduced. Even in the OT sector, cloud is being introduced. So that's why the XDR is also cloud compatible, as well as OT and IoT security. Right. So moving ahead, let's take a look how the XDR actually works. Right. So as we see that in an infrastructure, some of the key components would be endpoints, emails, networks, and cloud servers. So nothing works without endpoints, right? So endpoints are the key components. So how this XDR works is basically there will be some endpoint agents that will be deployed in the endpoints. So which is going to act as a data collectors, which is going to collect all the data from the endpoint, and it will send to a centralized location, right? That's how it's going to work. So the XDR, this basically find out what happened at the endpoint, where the threat is originated, and how it is traveled through the infrastructure. And also it is going to recommend how the threat can be isolated, and how it can be restored, how the machines which has been affected because of this threat or because of this exploitation can be restored or recovered. These sort of recommendations are also being provided by this XDR. And if we take email security, for instance, so what kind of attacks can happen over email? We know that phishing is which is the most prominent attack which is happening through email, and our emails can be easily be traced through social engineering or through any other type of open source intelligence, and then our emails can be used for phishing attacks. So if we could if we accidentally click any of that links, our So there is a potential attack, right? So this XDR solution could able to identify the compromised accounts, and also not only that, it also able to detect the patterns of attack, such as like which users are frequently been attacked, and who made the mistake of clicking the link, and a vulnerable link, and who and then who gave the attacker access to the network, and also who and all received this sort of this specific phishing email. And this sort of list, comprehensive list, can be created by this XDR solution, and it can be quarantined. So and that specific account can be reset, or even it can block the senders as well. And if we think in terms of network, network is basically, it is susceptible for a number of attacks. So the most prominent attack would be a denial of service attack. So denial of service attack is introducing a huge number of huge number of packets into a network. It could be a DOS attack, or it could be a DDoS attack. So it could be a distributed denial of service as well. The earlier solutions we discovered, apart from XDR, it could not predict, or it could not do any behavioral analysis on the network and tell any a DOS attack is going to happen or not. But the XDR solution has the capability to predict the anomalies, small anomalies and behavioral changes in the network, based on the machine learning and artificial intelligence algorithms. Basically, nowadays the solutions are moving to unsupervised models in machine learning. In machine learning, if we take, there are two different models, supervised and unsupervised. So supervised models will have its own limitation, but unsupervised model will be broad, and it will bring in more machine learning features. So nowadays the solutions are equipped with unsupervised machine learning models as well, which could able to potentially detect any sort of DOS attack as well in the network. So such events, let's say some event is originating from a specific IP. So such IP will be flagged up, and not only it is flagged, if the asset owner, if it is an IT infrastructure, that specific IP can be blocked temporarily. The communications from that IP can be blocked temporarily. And this may not be recommended for an operation technologies environment, because again, the availability pillar should not be compromised. So before installing an XDR solution into an operating technologies environment, all these parameters has to be taken into consideration. Then if we take the cloud service, there are some sophisticated attacks which will target the cloud workloads, which will target the containers, that is, data centers. So more and more attacks are also evolving these days. So in order to give protection against these attacks, the XDR solution can also be deployed. So moving further, considering the time, I feel that this is a very important point to discuss, the guidelines for selecting an XDR. If any asset owner, irrespective of domain, is willing to procure an XDR, and these are the points that we need to look into it. First, it is identifying the endpoints. Like the XDR solution should be able to automatically identify what and all the endpoints that is present in the infrastructure. And then threat detection, it should be able to automatically detect the threat across endpoints. It as discussed, networks, email, cloud servers, and workloads. The response to threat, it should be immediate. In response to threat, and investigation and forensic capabilities should happen in less latency period. Then collection of logs and events from multiple data source, including cloud service provider, on-premise solution, firewalls, IDS, etc. And then autonomous event engine. So, and I would say this is the key feature, because when compared to an endpoint detection solution, this is one of the distinguishable feature that XDR is having. So automatically it should able to tell us that there is some cyber attack which is happening, or it is going to happen, right? And then automatic investigation and threat scoring based on the severity of the threat, on a scale of low, medium, or a high. Then attack summaries and outlines. Once the event is over, so we should have a comprehensive and detailed report of what sort of attack has happened, and how we mitigated it, and how the system has been restored, right? And last but not least, so the solution which we are procuring should be compliance to ISO 27000 standards. So I have listed a few of the standards here. So if we are looking for an enterprise level solution, which is an IT enterprise, so it should comply. Definitely, the compliance of ISO 27000 will be, much appreciated, and I would say that solution, that specific company would be preferable. And NIST CSF, NIST cybersecurity framework, and NIST 853 also provides compliance to these two, also tells that this can be very well effectively used on an IT network. And if we take NIST 882 or ISA IEC 62443, compliance to these two standards will tell that automatically that specific XDR solution can be used in any control system environment. So these are all the details I would like to share with respect to enhanced detection and response. So thank you for the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. Over to you, Brigade. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Shakti, for the extremely insightful keynote presentation. I'm sure our audience would have captured a lot of key takeaways from your presentation, and it will be helpful for our delegates in their day-to-day enterprise level work. Thanks again, Shakti.
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you so much.